Hello and welcome back to another episode of White Album 2. We are currently playing through CODA, and it is sad already. So we came clean with Setsuna halfway. We told her we did meet up with Kazusa for the interview, and we didn't tell her, although we did lie and didn't tell her about Christmas Eve. So let's go ahead and continue from here.
そうそう浜田さん確認しないで怒るもんな。
それはだな、ここ3年の体験から自然と叱り癖が。あとそれよりもお前車は運転できるか？
免許なら大学の時取りましたけど、でもペーパーですよ。
ペーパー
そっか、どうしたもんかな。
なんです？車でしか行けない取材先なんですか？でもだったら俺じゃなくても。
ああ、いや俺じゃなくてアンサンブルの編集長がな。
アンサンブル？
成田に人を迎えに行く用事があって、できればお前に運転手を頼みたいってことだったんだが。
A lot of people in Japan, especially if you live in the Tokyo area, do not have licenses or just don't drive because public transportation is so good.
成田？海外からの客ですか？しかも運転手付きって大物っぽいですね。
これでしょこれ。北原くんを一本釣りするところからもさ。
というわけで今日の成田空港、お正月を海外で過ごした方々の帰省ラッシュで大変な混雑となっています。そしてそんな中、東間陽子さん、上総さんの到着まではあと10分ほどということです。というわけで一旦スタジオにお返しします。
Ensemble's chief
ありがとうご
editor
ざいました。
Narita
到着次第また中継に切り替える予定です。では
There's
次
no
の
need
話
for
題。
Suzuki-san to point it out. I can already figure out what answer these 3 keywords lead me to. I can see a video of Narita Airport on the screen of her phone. A noisy reporter is also on the screen, and it doesn't take long for her to speak the last keyword.
ま、そういうことだ。東間親子のお出迎え。北原なら向こうも問題ないだろうって。
うわー、結構マスコミ張ってますね。今や時の人だよな。
Uh-huh. And if you go pick them up, I am sure your face is gonna be on TV too.
バカンスから帰ってくる芸能人目当てじゃ。今テレビで思いっきり名前言ったじゃん。少なくともこの曲は東間上目当てだぞ。
まあ憧れだった同級生の女の子が雲の上の人になっちゃったのを認めたくない気持ちはわかるけどさ。
Suzuki-san, you have no idea. If that's true, I wish she would have just stayed out of reach. I wish she wouldn't have come to me.
にしてもアンサンブルもかわいそうにな。独占インタビューの掲載前に来日されちゃって。
これが隔月間の辛いところよね。久しぶりの目玉記事だったのに結局グラフに乗ることになっちゃったし。
まあそのこともあって向こうさんにも恩返しの必要があってな。
I worked on the request of Ensemble on an exclusive interview with Toma Kazusa. But their article was moved to Takayo Graph due to the relevancy of the article. Due to that, they lost a massive scoop, and we gained about 8 pages of pure profit. We even had to change the cover of the magazine halfway.
そんな事情もあるんでなんとかならないか。ホテルまで送ってついでに会食にもお供しろって。もちろん飯代は向こうの編集部持ち。
でも俺半年以上運転してないし。
Just immediately crashed the car.
浜田さん、俺
なんならタクシーでもいいってよ。向こうが期待してるのは車の運転よりも東間家担当としてのお前らしいからな。いやな、この間の取材向こうの反応がえらくいいらしくてな。特に東間陽子に。
Despite saying that it had been the worst interview they've had in months. Yoko-san was? Is that an evaluation of the actual job I did? Or perhaps...
なんでもトーマカズサってかなり気難しくて、普段の取材だとほとんど喋らないらしい。あれだけコメントを引き出せたのは奇跡だとか。
へえ、そうだった北原くん。
どうなんでしょうね。別に普通でしたけど。まあ学園時代は確かにそんなところあったかも。
The first time I met her, she was making an enemy of the whole world around her for no reason. But now, the degree of difference in how she speaks to others and how she speaks to me. I don't know what meaning there is behind that aspect of her. Are you dumb? Like, literally, you don't even have an inkling of an idea why she might talk to you differently than other people? At this point, Haruki? Clueless. Not even clueless, just purposefully clueless.
そんなわけだからさ、北原。
すいません。俺、まだ今日の仕事が全然終わってなくて。
そうか。わかった。お前がそこまで言うなら。
俺だから俺が
Poor Matsuoka, he really wants to go.
仕方ないから俺が顔出すわ。一応お前の上司だからフォローしとかないとな。
すいません。ご面倒をおかけします。なんかそれ違くない？
上司だったら会食じゃなくて仕事の方をフォローすればいいのに。
奥さんに電話しちゃおっかな。
I wait for everyone's intense stares to disperse and then quietly slip away. And I uncomfortably wonder whether my blunt rejection didn't come across as all too natural. Things went quite smoothly for the first day of work after the holidays. I was able to leave the editing department before 10 p.m. At first, I just wanted to put on a show to run away from that job and pretended to be very busy. But before I knew it, I ended up finishing everything, and my entire body felt worn out. By working non-stop, I can prevent myself from thinking about anything unnecessary and fully immerse myself in my job. Which is the horrible deep pit Haruki fell into during the closing chapter when he was overworking himself crazily. Old habits die hard. Kazusa is back, and it's headline news on top of that. Even though I bade her farewell 5 years ago at the airport. Even though I bade her farewell in my heart 2 years ago. Even though I bade her farewell 2 weeks ago in Strasbourg. Despite that, she's returned. I never imagined that things would turn out this way. To put it more accurately, I very much did anticipate this to happen, but I forced myself to not even entertain the possibility.
まもなく岩津町、お出口は左側になります。
I'm no good at all. Whenever I have the slightest time to think, I turn out like this. There should be nothing to be worried about. Her homecoming has absolutely nothing to do with me. Oh, so you would love to think, Haruki. So the viewer would love to think as well. It's simply that she got high appraisal overseas, which caused her to soar in popularity in Japan. Now she is simply answering to the Japanese demand. That's right, I have no involvement, no interest.
岩津町です。お降りの方はドアにお気をつけください。
ドアが閉まります。ご注意ください。
I'm not supposed to have any involvement. I can't be allowed to hold any interest. And yet, here you are. What am I doing? This isn't where I live at all. Why would I get off the train halfway? Haruki, you're not dumb. As much as I call you dumb, you are not actually dumb in the head. You know what you're doing. I walked down this path that's filled with memories and regret for over 10 minutes. Haruki. Okay, thank you. It's got for sale signs all over the front of it. And the place I reach is a place that has been unsuitable for living in for over 3 years.
トーマ、ちょっと、おい。
早く来なよ。
いや、こんなことって。
どうしたの？今になっておじけづいた。
おじけづくわ、そりゃあ。
It seems that when Kazusa left, this place was still being maintained. But at some point, the nameplate reading Toma at the front was replaced with a sign reading for sale. But because this building is so overly extravagant and spacious, no one can come up with an appropriate bid. So the building has been left without a buyer. Before long, weeds started growing on the surrounding area, and what had once been our studio had lost any vestige of what it once had been.
本当にいいんだな、北原。
ね、やろうよ。私これ弾いてる北原くん見てみたい。
北原が詩を書いて、私が曲をつけた。小木曽のためだけの歌だ。
Well, that's not true.
時間ないんだよ、春樹くん。あとたったの1日。頑張って私たちの曲完成させよ
う。We only spent 2 weeks here, never talking most of the time, only playing our instruments. So why do I only recall vivid and happy memories of this place? Busted. Oh god. Just why? Don't you act like it's some crazy coincidence, Haruki. You literally heard that Kazusa was coming back to Japan and then went to her house. Why is the person making up the core of my happy memories standing right in front of me now? You're literally standing in front of her house. To Kazusa, this is a shocker. To Haruki, why is he surprised? After staring at me dumbfoundedly, Kazusa finds herself at a loss for words at the state of what had once been her home. Double-checking the nameplate, peeking through the gate, walking around the house, and finally realizing the true length of 5 years.
母さんに聞いてはいたけどさ。
そうか。
見ない方がいいとも言われたけどさ。
そっか。
見なけりゃよかった。
You've gotten your just desserts. For abandoning this house and for abandoning this country. Wow, sounds like somebody is super mad about that. She went after her dreams. For coming back despite saying you didn't want to. For coming home despite the warnings of your family.
嫌なやつとは 嫌なところで会っちまうし。
For having a reunion with me, even in Japan.
お前、うちの編集長と会食って。
母さんに任せて抜けてきた。嫌な奴が出るって聞かされてたから。
Oh my.
そしたらこんな。ほんとついてない。
That is a very funny coincidence. Had Haruki gone to that dinner, he wouldn't have met Kazusa. Coming here and being all, I don't know, weirdly reminiscent, he meets Kazusa.
そうだな、お互い。
We both went out of our way to avoid each other. Not really. If you wanted to avoid her, you just go home. But in the end, we ended up meeting each other.
なんでこんなところにいるんだよ。どうしてだ、春樹。
別に大した理由なんかない。気がついたらここに立ってただけだ。
And that place was the place filled with memories of the three of us.
バカじゃないのかお前は。こんな場所に来たって何の意味もないのに。
バカはお前の方だ。そっちなんか意味がないどころか辛い思いするだけじゃないか。
But the memories left by the three of us are long gone, without any trace being left behind.
ごめん。
I really can't call this anything other than bad luck. I can. It's called a bad decision. And again, I feel like I'll have to point this out in every episode. I am not against Haruki and Kazusa being together. I am against Haruki lying about it and going behind Setsuna's back about it. If he was just straight up honest, it wouldn't be like this. I'd be very happy for them. I think they're great together. But come on. This is our first reunion in Japan after 5 years. We supposedly had a somewhat special relationship together back then.
帰ろうかな。もうここにも用はないし。
Yet there is no hint of any desire to celebrate our chance meeting, nor to reminisce about our past memories.
今どこに滞在してるんだ？
ホテルだよ。最上階のスイートルーム。どこのホテルかなんて興味ないよな。
スイートか。相変わらずだな、お前んち。俺には一生無縁な場所だ。
少しくらいセキュリティが高くないとどうしようもないって痛感したからな。ホテルのロビーにまで取材が来やがった。
有名人だからな、今のお前は。さすがはジェバンニ国際入賞ピアニスト。
To the contrary, we both tried to avoid a reunion in Japan. And now that we have finally met, our conversation goes less than smoothly.
私なんかまだ何も成し遂げてない。こんな駆け出しのピアニスト、ヨーロッパじゃ相手にもされてない。
そうなのか？
母さんには有名オケから何度も声がかかる。私はどこからも呼ばれたことがない。二人にはそれだけの差があるんだ。
I mean, there's also over 2 decades between the two of you too. You have a long time to catch up.
そんなのこれからだろ。お前の母親はもう30年近くも第一線で。
Okay, 3 decades.
そうさ、これからなんだよ。なのにそんな私がここではチケット初日完売。一度もやる前に追加公演決定。一体何の冗談だ。
そりゃ上総が日本人だからだろ。ヨーロッパであまり注目されないのも日本で注目されるのもそのせいだ。
向こうで私より活躍してる日本人のアーティストなんて5万といる。なのにその人たちには目も向けないで。
Well, do you need it spelled out for you? You are beautiful, you are youthful, you've got this way about you that makes people fall in love with you just for your looks.
まあ、それにだって理由はあるけど、今のお前に言ったって納得しないだろうな。
日本人の理屈か？私とは違う感覚ってやつか？
かもな。
Something that all Japanese people share, or rather, are utterly unified about, is the way they get easily excited and bored about celebrities in a uniform manner. That is something anyone familiar with Western culture would find strange.
この国は異常だ。こんな何の実績もない小娘をマスコミが追いかけ回す。まるで芸能人みたいに。
Perhaps her utterance is a sarcastic remark about me, who is both Japanese and a part of the mass media.
本当にうんざりだ、こんな国。コンサートが終わったらすぐに。
なら来なければよかったじゃないか。
Those words were obviously meant to start something.
日本には来ないんじゃなかったのか？インタビューではそう言ってたろ。
He's being sharp today, huh? But it's hard for me to determine if she's really itching to start a fight, or if I made a mistake in pushing back against her provocation.
来て欲しくなかったか？
Ooh, another big loaded question.
俺の意見なんかどうでもいいだろ。俺が来るなって言ったら今から帰るのか？
She did take offense in the end. Who wouldn't? That was so rude.
そうだよ。決めるのは私だって言った。だから私が行くって言ったら行くんだ。
そうかよ。そりゃよかったな。
誰も私の気持ちを変えることなんかできない。観客だろうが母親だろうが、ましてやお前なんか。
ファンの声は無視かよ。最低の芸人だな。あ、それとも芸術家ならそういうの OK なんだっけ？
So rude. Don't take out your problems on Kazusa.
どうしてそうやってすぐ上げ足ばかり取るんだ？
俺のことを貶めるのはどうだっていいけどさ、本当にお前のピアノが好きな人だっているんだぞ。失礼だと思わないのか？
そんなの関係ないって言ってるだろ。本筋と関係ないところで余計な説教しやがって。
本当は今言ったことちょっと後悔してるよな。ただ引くに引けないだけなんだろ。だってお前昔から見かけより小心者で。
お前にどうこう言われる筋合いはない。何様のつもりなんだよ、春樹。
悪かったな。
昔のまんまじゃないか。
Mm-hmm. I wonder why. This is our first reunion in Japan after 5 years. We supposedly had a somewhat special relationship together back then. Yeah, you had a relationship with her while you had a relationship with Setsuna. And you're still in a situation with Setsuna, and now you're getting involved with Kazusa, so I wonder why things aren't going smoothly. Why can't we have a peaceful conversation? Why must it always degrade into pointless lecturing and emotional fits of anger?
こんなところにいるからいけないんだ。帰る。今度こそ。もう帰る。
そっか。
Of course, I already know the answer to that question.
もう二度とここには来ない。
We can't reminisce here anymore.
昔の私が知っている場所には、昔の私を知っている場所には近づかない。
Because the history we built up with the three of us has long since been cut off. And now we're divided into a couple and one person. And Kazusa isn't part of the couple.
じゃあな、春樹。もう会うこともないと思うけど。
ちゃんと帰れるか？
バカにするな。日本語くらい喋れる。
Unlike during our time in Strasbourg, Kazusa is the one who leaves this time. But unlike the irresolute me, she walks away with her back held straight, never looking back. That's why I remain, irresolutely and intently looking at her back as she walks away.
ごめんな、カズサ。
I'm really sorry for pointlessly angering you. Well,
「いくらなんでも考えすぎじゃないの？せつなもみんなもさ。」何が？だから當真和沙のことよ。北原さんに未練があるんじゃないかって話。
oh, this is something that Tomo truly wouldn't understand. The depths of the emotions that Toma has. The only people that really know that are Setsuna, Haruki. Kazusa's questionable. She kind of understands her own feelings. And her mom.
だってさ、向こうは今をときめく人気ピアニストよ。学園祭のキーボード担当とはもう何もかも違うのよ。すごく綺麗になってたよね。ピアノもずっと上手くなってるんだろうな。聞いてみたいんだけど。そんな超有名人になっちゃったあの人がどうして未だに北原さん程度の春樹くん程度の何なのかな。
I'm so glad she finally said what everyone is thinking.
別にけなしてるわけじゃないわよ。
He
た
deserves
だ
it.
どんなに刹那が彼に傾倒してたとしてもあの人が一般人であることには変わりないじゃない。
He's just a normal, not even that great man. Actually, not even that great is giving him too much. He is a bad person. Too many mistakes.
それでも私にとっては特別すぎるんだよ。今はいつもみたいに刹那の際限ないのろけを聞いてる場合じゃないの。ただ可能性を検証してるだけ。上総にとっても特別すぎたんだよ。5年前の春樹くんは。でも今當真上総は5年前の彼女じゃないんだもの。今の彼女はハードルが高すぎるわよ。そんなのお互いの気持ち次第でどうにでもならないと思うけどな。特に向こう側の事情がそうはさせないでしょ。
The problem with this advice is it's coming from Tomo, who is so intent on her future and so intent on becoming famous, being an idol. She thinks about things like status and image and popularity and job. Kazusa doesn't care. She really doesn't care that much.
上総の事情？彼女活動拠点がヨーロッパなんだし、コンサート終わったらまたすぐ向こうに帰るんでしょ。上総が向こうに行っちゃったのは私のせいもあったんじゃないかな。言い方良くないけど今が売り時なんだから、周囲のスタッフもそんな浮ついたこと認めるわけないでしょ。でも上総のお母さんそういうことにはオープンな人みたいだけど、少なくとも自分に関しては。
She is. Kazusa's mom's she's such a wild card. She's a stallion.
何より今彼女はマスコミに注目されてる。そう簡単に近づけるわけないよ。春樹くんもマスコミなんだけど、それも上総担当って言ってもいいくらいの。ああもう、ああ言えばこういううっとうしい。だったら北原さんの方はどうなのよ。そういうことできる人だと思う？
Yes.
春樹くんは彼って普通に真面目な人じゃん。いい意味で常識やしがらみにとらわれる人じゃん。 そのせいでもう一度振り向かせるのに苦労したけどね。昔のこと乗り越えるの大変だったけどね。だからこそ今の自分の立場を捨てるようなこと、刹那を悲しませるようなこと絶対にしない人だと思うけどな。
Well, he's already failed on at least one of those fronts.
それはまあ隠れて浮気くらいならありかもしんないけど。
Yikes. I don't want to say I agree with Tomo, but I agree with Tomo.
聞こえてるよ。だからさ、どんなに東間和沙が北原さんのことを好きでも、やっぱりその可能性は否定しないんだね。刹那が頑なに否定しないからそれに合わせただけじゃない。もうめんどくさいな。どうせめんどくさい女ですよ。すぐにうじうじして昔のこと気にして。親友が5年ぶりに帰国してきたっていうのに連絡も取ろうとしない。素直に喜べない。そんな刹那、やだもう自己嫌悪。こんなことじゃ余計に春樹くんに愛想つかされる。カズサにだってもしかしたら嫌な思いさせてるかも。どうしよう。どうしたらいいんだろう私。
Man, Setsuna, you deserve someone who's not gonna constantly make you worried like this. But I am glad she has someone to talk it through with, even if that person is Tomo and I'm not Tomo's biggest fan. At least she has someone rather than sitting at home by herself, tortured by her own thoughts, like in the past. So, we will stop off there for today. So, thanks so much for being here with me on this episode of CODA, and I'll be back with the next shortly. Until then, hope you take care. See you!